Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of Phantom Force's Gun Breakdowns, where I give a full-blown analysis of every gun in the game from rank 0 and onward. In today's episode, we're going to be covering two weapons this time, and they are the two rank 0 secondaries, the M9 and the Glock 17. I decided to do one episode for both of these weapons since they are both very similar, so I wouldn't have to split this into two parts. I think that'd just be really unnecessary. But if you missed the last episode, I'll put that in the top right corner. And if you just joined us today, well, I'm glad you're here now. But let's get into the breakdown of these two pistols. Of course, starting with some fun facts. First, for the M9, or the Beretta M9, is an Italian handgun that was first made in 1985. It was actually the pistol that replaced the M1911 across all the US military branches when it was the standard combat pistol at the time. And it is also known for its very good durability, as it can survive against high and low temperatures, corrosion, being buried, and just straight up being knocked around. Now for the fun facts. For the Glock 17, it's an Austrian handgun that was first made in 1982, and it is actually the original model for all of the Glock family of pistols. The founder, Gaston Glock, actually did not have any experience in creating guns, but because he had experience in manufacturing polymers, he incorporated that into his first pistols, as they had polymer frames, which has become a staple with all the Glocks of today. But yeah, very short fun facts, but that's because we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into the stats. Okay, so instead of the usual breakdown, I'm going to compare both of these pistols side by side and go over the stats for both at the same time. So starting with the M9, it does 35 damage up to 40 studs and 20 damage out to 100 studs, while the Glock 17 does 34 damage out to 40 studs and 20 damage out to 110 studs. So basically the M9 does 1 more max damage, but the Glock has 10 more min damage range, but they are both a 3 to a 5 shot kill. Both weapons actually have the same multipliers too, with both having a 1.5 headshot multi and a 1.1 torso multi. Both weapons have a fire rate of 780 RPM, which for a semi-auto pistol is actually very fast. The M9 has a mag size of 15 and the Glock has a mag size of 17. Now onto the advanced stats. The M9 has a muzzle velocity of 1300 and the Glock has a muzzle velocity of 1230, and both weapons have penetration depth of 0.5. As far as reload times go, the M9 has a 1.8 second tact reload and a 2.1 second empty reload. The Glock has a 1.7 second tac reload and a 2 second empty reload. And both of these weapons overall have very good handling. So as you can see, both pistols are very identical, only having minor differences in the advanced stats and in damage and damage ranges. Now onto the recoil, and by default both of these pistols actually have pretty low recoil, but the M9 does seem to have more vertical kick than the Glock, which stays very stable throughout the entire mag dump here, although the Glock does have more horizontal kick, I feel like. Now as far as attachments go, I do have the same attachments for both weapons, which are the delta sight or any other optic, the long barrel, and the green laser. The long barrel is great to increase damage ranges and more muzzle velocity, and the green laser is really good for reducing the very little recoil. These pistols also do have alt aims, which honestly I don't like, but if you want to shoot gangster style, you can. Now you might be wondering, well, what about ammo? And yeah, as far as ammo types go, I don't really think they're very helpful. Plus P would be an obvious choice, but it hardly has any effect on muzzle velocity and damage ranges, and plus you get more recoil. AP does hardly anything, only bumping up the pen to 0.65, so this is pretty much useless. However, I will say the Glock is more flexible when it comes to more attachments, as throwing on something like the extended mag and the G-stock could make it a pseudo primary weapon. I wouldn't personally run it like that, but you totally could. The Glock also has something the M9 does not, and that is the G-switch. And what this does is turn the weapon into full auto, but it forces you to empty out your entire mag without stopping as soon as you pull the trigger, which could be helpful in last-ditch situations against one or many enemies if your primary weapon is out of ammo. I wouldn't recommend this attachment on this Glock specifically, but on something like the Glock 50, it would make more sense because it has a smaller mag, so you wouldn't be wasting as much ammo per mag. I just wanted to address this though, since the option is there for you. As far as how you should use these pistols, they're meant to be used as just backup weapons if your main primary weapon is out of ammo. They lack the consistency and ease of use that primary weapons have, as they have low muzzle velocity, low damage ranges, low pen, and they're forced to semi. But thanks to their fast fire rate, they are great at finishing off enemies in close range, but they won't be good against other secondaries such as machine pistols or secondary shotguns. But I will say the Glock is definitely better suited, as it has more attachment options and is slightly better in close range compared to the M9. But the M9 does perform ever so slightly better at medium to long range than the Glock. But overall, these are just your standard jack of all trades pistols that get the job done and nothing else. As for my overall opinions, I think these pistols are just okay. I don't really use them that much, as you could get way better secondaries like the Rex or the M1911 at very low ranks, and that just kind of makes these pistols just fall behind. Although sometimes it is fun to challenge myself and I'll try to use them as a primary weapon. It doesn't end up going very well, but at least I have fun. But out of 10, I'll give the M9 a 5.5 out of 10, and the Glock 17 a 6 out of 10. Again, they're nothing special, but it's okay if you want to use them, and every so often, I'll see someone rocking it and getting kills with it, so they're not that bad, okay? But that's gonna be the end of this video. Finally, we are done with the rank 0 guns. Next episode, we're finally going to be moving on to some ranked weapons. But if you're new and you feel like liking the video and subbing to the channel, go ahead, because we're going to keep this series going. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.